Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Delani, and I'm just yapping about books. So in my previous video, you saw that I use my picker spinner. I use my picker spinner to pick my next read. So far we have knocked 2 off of this, and now I've created 2 stacks of books. One of books that I just want to start shuffling through for my TBR, and then I went and digged even deeper for a specific summer stack, a stack that I would like to read before summer ends because they are really long overdue. But let's talk about what I last read before we pick our next read. So the last thing I read 3 books. Losin Control by Ladii Nesha. I love this book. I love this book so bad. Like, Caesar and Marley's relationship had me at the edge of my seat. It was a point in time where there must have been like this amount of pages left. And I was starting to get pissed off. And I was like, I have to take a break because I'm about to get mad. And I was really getting mad. Like, at that point, I wanted to reach in the book, take this same book, I don't know how to work out, and just like hit Molly on her head. Because, girl, what is you doing? Benny? Benny? Is that what we're doing now? I thought we elevated from this. Like, I know we didn't get past the whole him being dead aspect, but I thought we came to the realization in life that we deserve better, we needed better, and we have someone who is giving us that life that we deserve. I thought we reached to that point. Apparently, Molly was just really in her feelings. And I was just like, you know, I thought about the fact that when certain situations happen, you can't want more for that person than they want for themselves, and they have to learn it on their own. And in that time period, that's where Molly was. Molly was in a situation where she had to learn it on her own, no matter how many people in close proximity told her, you're dumb. To each his own, everything is a lesson. But at this point, it was like this amount of pages left, and I was starting to get mad. And I remember verbally saying, Ladii Nesha, there is only about this amount of pages left. How are you going to get a happily ever after out of this book? Because if they don't get happily ever after out of this book, I'll be pissed. Safe to say, I posted like a quick review about it because I had to get it off my chest. It was so good, I had to get it off my chest. And one of my followers told me, great, go read a novella. I was like, there's a novella after this? Immediately ordered. I'm currently waiting for the Zan to drop that off to my front door. So even though we're going to pick my next read off of this little spinner thingamabob, that book's getting read as it gets dropped off. The spine is gonna be cracked. I'm cracking the spine on that, and I'm gonna annotate that one. I didn't annotate this one because the first 20 chapters was read via audio, and I didn't immersive read. You know, I'm doing a lot, so I didn't get to annotate that one. But because I only read like literally the last mostly 10 chapters of this, or whatever it was. But that novella is going to be annotated because I need to see where we left off from here. Like, what's going on? Let me see what progress they made in that relationship. But this book was so funny from the beginning to the end. They think this is the very first Ladii Nesha book that I read, and it did not disappoint. It did not let me down. Like, I was ready to crack open Lucid Dreams, even though that has nothing to do with Losin Control. But because I wanted more from her work, I wanted to read more from her because that writing was so freaking good. Like, I see why this got a trad deal. This is a traditionally published cover. I also do have the indie cover. I bought the indie cover before because it was guaranteed to go as a stock. So in my mind, it's a special edition. So it should have been in my special editions, but whatever. So I do have 2 copies of this book. I love them. I will be keeping them. And if you have not read Losin Control as yet, I highly suggest you go read it. The audiobook is also top tier. Like, that production was amazing. This is a top read for me. I haven't even looked through my reads yet for the year, but this is one. If this is the only one for the year, then this is the one. Got it? Okay. So after I finished reading that, I did my spinning wheel topper. I did my spinning wheel, and it said I needed to read Hooked. It said I needed to read Hooked by Emiy Mcintire. That's this book. No, this is not written by a Black author. I've had this book on my shelf for 2-3 years, and I need to start reading from my back catalog. As you can see, I had a time in this book. Don't ask me how I really narrate. How I really annotate, because I just be doing shit for real. It may not look like it, but it's actually 3 colors. 2 of them is like 2 different shades of blue or something like that, eh? Oh, I lie. Okay, it's 3. I did 3 colors. You can't really tell because there's only like 1 in between, but it's 3 colors. I had a time. This was actually really good, and I was actually very surprised because it's a dark romance retelling, dark romance fairy tale retelling of Peter Pan. This was good. I had a time, and coming towards the end, I couldn't even lay down and read anymore. I had to sit up. I was like, wait, every time I lay down, literally I say sitting up again. I literally annotated here, right here at this line. I re-annotated and said, oh, I'm up again. Because what? Like, this was good. And the way how I annotated this book is in 3 sections. This one is, I annotated every time I found a word I didn't know, and then I just write the definition next to that paragraph. This is when I had an internal monologue with myself about that paragraph or that statement, whatever was said, and whatever my thoughts was, I wrote it down. And this was from a quote I liked. It was a good quote, and since it was only 1 quote, I could read it to you. And that quote was, "Whenever things feel bleak, all situations are temporary. It's not your circumstance that determines your worth. It's how you rise from the ashes after everything burns." That was a good quote. Yeah. And I learned 2 new words in this. But this was a good book. It's a series. They're standalones, but they're dark romance retellings of our fairy tales. So I am actually excited to read the next one, which is Scarred. And this was back in my era where I would buy the entire series and never read them. So if you're wondering, I do have all 8 books in the series. Probably would never do that again. But I also didn't even know this was like a dark romance. I just saw the last one, which I think is Hex, was like a Walmart special edition type vibe. I was like, oh my God, that is so pretty. I bought it. And then it was like, oh yeah, there's other books before that. Not that they are interconnected, they're standalones. But I was like, in my mind, if something's in a series, whether it's interconnected or not, I still have to read it in the order it was published. That's just the way my mind is set up. I don't make the rules. That's just how I do it. So I had to start from Hook. So Scarred will be on this wheel at some point in time after I clear this wheel. But even before I started Hooked, I was like, I need my little novella in between before I jump into another longer book. Even though this was not a long book at all. I finished this in like 3 days. Garden Party by Aria Daze. I had to read her. I say, if one person gonna let me have a good time in a short time, Aria Daze is gonna do that. Garden Party, I will never look at gardens the same again for a little while, just a little while. Because Garden Party took me through there. I can't even show you guys the artwork that is in here because it's not suitable for work. It's not. But there are 2 like, I let you just open it and they're there. They're like 2 pictures in here. You can order this from her website. I highly suggest you get it. If you are a fan of Group Trip, you're gonna be a fan of Garden Party. That should tell you everything you need to know. Aria Daze, you never disappoint. Love you down real bad. Let's pick our next physical read, which will be read after I do that little Losin Control novella thing, because she gotta be read. Her spine has to be cracked today. Okay? Let's see. Actually, I'm kind of hoping I get Huntsman because I want to read Huntsman next. But I'm going to let the spinner do its thing and then we're going to go about there. Is it Huntsman? Nope, it's actually Zane Dare G-Spot. Let me get a book. Okay, so our next read is Zane Dare G-Spot, written by Zane. I think it's it's real letters from real people, from both men and women, who sought Zane's advice over the years. Okay. I guess this should be interesting. It says Dare G-Spot, straight talk about sex and love. It's not a thick read. 243 pages. We're gonna see what it's about. We got crack the spine open too, because we are tackling our physical TBR. We are doing it this year. Got it? Get it? Good. Remember, books don't expire. Buy the book, you're gonna read it anyways. Check Aria.